The Shopsmith lathe, spindle turning with Doug and Susan Reed. Please be safe, be careful, read your manuals, have fun, and let us know if you need help. The first thing we want to do is look at the pieces and parts we'll need to do our spindle turning. Of course, you'll need a Mark 5 or a Mark 7. Susan is pointing to the flat on the drive shaft and now is putting in the tail piece. It just drops into place and locks, just like that. Next, we'll need the drive center, and that goes onto the tapered flat of the drive spindle. We'll tighten that up here in a minute, and we'll also need the dead center. Finally, we'll need chisels. This is a 1-inch gouge, a 1-inch skew, and a parting tool, and you'll see in this video how each one of these is used. Next, Susan will install the tool rest. This has already been adjusted, and it just needs to be dropped into place and locked. Here Susan is using the drive center with a mallet, not a hammer, to set the drive center into the wood. That way it will have a good bite on it when she mounts it into the lathe. Next, Susan will press the piece of wood onto the dead center, bring the headstock over, and extend the quill. She locks the headstock and then extends the quill a bit more in order to get a good solid grip on the piece of wood. Here Susan installs the tool rest, which has already been aligned and adjusted and just needs to be locked into place. And she will check to make sure that the tool rest will clear the piece of wood. She rotates the wood by hand, makes minor adjustments, and checks it again. The height of the tool rest should be approximately center line on the piece of wood for this operation. Snug everything down, make sure all of our locks are locked. Using the 1-inch gouge, Susan draws the chisel across a piece of wood, taking light cuts until the piece is entirely cylindrical. Now here it is cylindrical, but it still looks a little rough, so she will take her skew chisel. So our piece of wood is round, but it's still very rough, so she will next reach for the skew chisel. This is used like a knife edge. And here she's just peeling the wood using the skew chisel until she has it uniform and smooth. Again, using the skew chisel, Susan lays out her design lines. Some of this just comes with practice and experience. She now rolls her chisel into those design lines, smoothing the wood and forming the first of our major shapes, and that is the bead. The bead is nothing more than a design in the wood that sticks up. If you think of a string of wooden beads, very similar shape to that. Rolling from left to right and right to left, she works the cut down and cleans it up. And to make the cove, Susan goes to her parting tool, makes a straight in cut, and comes back again with the gouge to scoop the wood out. We used to tell people this is like scooping out ice cream. Scoop it down until you form the cove, also thought of as a valley. So as you can see, spindle turning can be very simple. It's simply combining a cove, which is the valley, a bead, which is a hill, and straight cuts. And with those 3 cuts and only 3 chisels, you can make literally any shape that you might want to in a spindle turning. Here Susan is putting a variation of a straight cut, simply a taper, which you'll see very often in table legs. So by learning those 3 cuts, you can make literally dozens, if not hundreds, of variations. Table legs, salt shakers, pepper mills, chess pieces. So with the right tools, a little practice, and your imagination, there's almost no limit to what you can make on your Shopsmith wood lathe. Remember folks, you only have to learn 3 cuts: a straight cut, a bead, and a cove. For more details, check your owner's manual or contact Shopsmith, 800-543-7586. And thanks for watching.